Before I begin, I'm gonna put links in the comment section, which will go perfectly with this video right here. And before I go any further, please excuse my voice. I'm still fighting a nasty chest infection, but as Uncle JD always say, the show must go on, sick or no fucking sick. And y'all know good and damn well that Uncle JD will bounce back from this. But for now, yep, it's me again. They hate me, they hate us. This is why they give a fuck about us at the same time. As always, I am your host, JD Miles. The MGTOWs, they love to hate. Even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, loves to hate MGTOW at the same time as always. Which is why these retarded fucks keep us relevant to this very day. And I'm back again. For tonight's topic of discussion, dumb, stupid, retarded single mothers crashing out after finding out that the men they lied to is now starting to walk away when they find out that the children they were raising were not theirs. Straight up paternity fraud. And rightfully so. And shout out to the Average Man Unplugged. I'll leave the link to his full video in the comment section. Go check it out. But we talked about this, yet these women yet you got these dumb, stupid bitches sitting there acting like, oh, it's no problem, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. Ma'am, you got a man raising a child that doesn't belong to him. That's paternity fraud. But the moment he gets up and leaves when he finds out the child isn't his, oh, now these bitter single mothers want to crash out all because they want these men to continue to lie. Bitch, is you for real? Are y'all for real? And no, I can't get mad at these men for walking on your fucking asses. But before I go into rant and make my voice even worse, let's get down to business, shall we?
What's going on, YouTube? It is your boy Rome, back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So, I got a video for you guys that I came across on the Humble. And when I saw this stat and on the title, I was kind of like, okay. Now, and I looked at the comments. Meanwhile,
all women.
This woman is over here talking about like, damn, like, why would you leave? On the other hand, you see men in the comments saying like, the better question is why come it's not 100% instead of 90? So with that in mind, man, I'm like, just watching those first 30 seconds, give or take, as you can imagine, I was a bit triggered. Hopefully, the brother has some words to say as far as the situation goes, because I didn't make it that far into the video. But we're going to see what they're talking about, running back from the top. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Of men are no longer when they are victims of paternity fraud. Nine.
And as always, it's got to be a dumb, bitter African broad who has a problem with it. Y'all remember those dumb African broads who had a problem with mandatory paternity testing? Yeah, I remember that shit too. Let's continue.
80% of men do not stay with a child. They do not stay with the child. Once they find out the child is not theirs, they move on, regardless of how old the child is. And OT, I find that to be quite disturbing.
Bitch, shut the fuck up. Oh, the fact that he left after finding out the child isn't his. I think that the thing. Well, guess what? Those men, they don't give a fuck about what you think, you dumb African broad who thinks that a man should still stay with the child that's not his. And guess what? Those men have every right to leave you and that bastard once he finds out the child ain't his. Let's continue.
Because let's say the child is 10 years old. How can you erase 10 years of memory just because that child was not yours? Someone that was calling you father, somebody that you were changing their diapers, somebody that you were feeding. How can you automatically detach those emotional feelings? I feel like
Simple, you dumb bitter broad. Like this. The fact that he did all of that while under the deception that that child was his, come to find out years later at the age of 10 years old, the child wasn't his. Now he's feeling a certain kind of way about it. He doesn't want nothing to do with you nor the child that you lied on him. He decided to leave. That's his choice, not yours. And to be 100% honest, you, ma'am, have no right to question that shit either. If he wants to go because that child ain't his, he has every right. Let's continue.
I understand the pain, but that's almost kind of heartless. What do you think?
It's so crazy how the real heartless thing is what we're overlooking. That you pinned another human's child on. That is heartless. That is actually
facts. Oh, what he did was heartless, but no, bitch. What you did was 10 times as heartless than what he's doing. And shout out to the dude on the left. And shout out for the dude on the left keeping it up front and real, calling a ball and a strike on this bitter broad. Let's continue.
Very disgusting behavior. But we're gonna overlook that and focus on the man that got spited, right? And his reaction to your actions. And it now becomes about his reaction, not about your actions of being a whore. It's not even about that. It's now about him reacting to the whore's ways.
God damn. The look on her face is priceless. Oh, let me guess. She thought that he was going to kiss her ass and agree with her, right? Huh. Yeah. Bullshit. But allow me to go even further as well, because she's more concerned about how he's going to react, and his reaction is downright normal. But guess what? She's also not looking at the reaction of the kids once the kids find out that the man that were raising them weren't theirs, and even worse, the mother lied to them, having them believe that a man that's been raising them were their biological child, when in reality it wasn't. Yes, you got kids actually holding resentment against their own mothers for lying to them. Oh, but don't worry. Uncle JD will get down to the nitty gritty on that later on down the line. But let's continue.
You see the problem right there. You have automatically judged the woman that she was being a whore.
She got pregnant
because she is a whore. Bottom line. A whore who lied on a man, have him believe that a kid that's not his is his. So these men don't give two shits about how you feel. Oh, you should care about how these women feel like being judged. And guess what? They brought that judgment upon themselves when they decided to lie to those men. We ain't trying to hear it. Let's continue.
Another person and pin it on me. That's horrible behavior.
That is not horror behavior because you don't know the details. You don't know if
that is horror behavior. You retarded fuck ass broad with your retarded fuck ass logic. Let's continue.
she was essayed. You don't know if she was having a drunken night and she didn't know where she ended up on the bodega.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know anything that happened.
Okay.
You don't even know if maybe.
I love this.
Again, the retarded logic coming from this dumb, bitter African broad. Oh, you don't know if she's been essayed. You don't know if she's been drunk. And guess what? All that shit can happen to her. But in the end, who did she put the baby on? Who did she claim the child's father is? Come to think about it. What the fuck is she saying? Oh, she's saying that the so-called father of the child sexually assaulted her. The so-called father of the child took advantage of her while she is drunk. The so-called biological father of the child did all this heinous acts on her, is what she's saying. Again, retarded fuck-ass logic at its finest. Let's continue.
She used IVF and she thought it was yours, but ended up being a doctor's. She doesn't know.
Okay.
These things happen and we don't even give room for the woman to give you an explanation. Instead, all you're just like, oh, she's being a
because she's a whore. What part of that do you not understand?
Brain cells. What's going on right now? Emma.
You tell me. How can you?
Oh, I can tell you and show y'all exactly what's going on right
now. That's right, ladies. Today, you will be taking accountability.
Subway.
Accountability, a woman's kryptonite.
Hell no. Okay, all right. That's where I draw the line. Y'all doing way too much. Okay.
This woman had a million.
Oh my God!
Every excuse in the book. You don't know if she was doing this and she was doing that, and regardless, she put herself in a position of where she was double D clutching. Period.
Straight up. She wants to commence in whore activities, while at the same time she don't want to be looked at as a whore. That's like a crackhead who smokes crack but don't want to be called a crackhead. Again, the retarded logic is mind-blowing. Let's continue.
That's what it comes down to, okay? Like, let's stop being disingenuous, because if the tables was turned and a man got two women pregnant at the same time, you would not have that same energy.
Nope.
And then go sit over here, and C&D, you automatically judge. I'm like, oh my.
She is so fucking retarded.
I'm telling you, bro, this is why some of y'all need a Scorpion death drop, bro. And if you're a wrestling fan, you know exactly what I'm saying. Ooh, like for real, like I think some of them probably already have, because they think this shit actually makes sense. Like seriously, man. Like, bro, when did y'all bump y'all head as a kid?
Straight up.
You hear a Reddit about a man who is dad of the year. Of course you do. Man was married for 10 years. He has a daughter. he and his wife actually have a daughter that's 9 years old. He got into a fight with the wife where the wife told him that the daughter is not his. And he did a paternity test on the daughter, and it proved that the daughter actually is not his. And the man who fathered the daughter come to find out he is deceased. The husband who got into the fight with his wife and found out that his daughter of 9 years is not his, he wants to now divorce the wife and cut both of them completely out of his life. To quote, "I don't want to raise a child that's not mine, nor do I want to pay for her either." Now, look, I understand him being angry that his wife cheated on him, was impregnated by another man, knew it all along, and lied to him. Completely understand that. And I completely understand him wanting to divorce his wife.
But
however, there is a completely innocent 9-year-old child that is caught in this, that had absolutely...
No one gives a fuck about that 9-year-old child, bitch. And the fact, and you gotta love these dumb bitter broads on TikTok trying to gaslight and guilt trip these men into continuing trying to raise a child that's not theirs. This is the reason why I say TikTok is a bunch of misandrous, man-hating women over there trying to say anything and everything they can just to make things go their way. No doubt about that shit. And what's more, you got to love this bit of broad storytelling. We don't even know if this is the truth or not. But this is what she wants us to believe. That way she could come right back around and try to make it seem like, oh, but there's a child involved. Bitch, you don't give a fuck about him nor that child. This is your desperate attempt to try to convince him and men like him to still stay and raise a child that's not his. These men ain't falling for this shit in 2025 going on 2026. Y'all broads got away with that shit in the 1990s, in the early 2000s, but you're not getting away with that shit here. The men ain't having it. See, this is why out there in Jamaica, you had one woman who self-deleted once her husband found out that his kids wasn't his. And let's stay in Jamaica too, because you had another woman who got murdered after her husband found out his kids were not his. Or how about a recent video I made a few months ago, where you had a man who almost killed his so-called baby mama once he found out his kids weren't his. And yes, she did survive. And I can hear him too. We all can hear him, right? Yeah, we can hear the gay retarded fucks all on their channel talking about, oh, JD Miles is inciting violence against women. First off, have several say shut the fuck up forever, you gay ass retards. Because I did make videos about those situations too. And there's this one thing I always say in my videos. I do not condone any form of violence against women. However, at the same time, I understood, and everybody else understands what these men were going through. I believe I said that in my videos. And any of these gay retarded fuck ass haters say differently, all needs to have several seats and shut the fuck up forever on that matter. But let's continue.
Absolutely nothing to do with this that is going to be punished. Why? And on top of that, it's that easy for this man to throw away 9 years that he had with this human that he did think was his.
Bitch, shut the fuck up trying to gaslight and trying to guilt trip these men into still raising a child that ain't theirs. The shit's not working. These fucking TikTok bitches, I swear.
Now that he finds out she doesn't share the same blood and genetics as him, he's done. He's going to throw her away, cut her off completely. This goes to show that some men, when they become fathers, parents, you know what? Easy come, easy go. You know, they do what they don't. They don't really care that much. They'll pretend that they do. They do it while it makes them look good and while it lets them fit in and play a role, right? But then when it becomes the slightest bit inconvenient or it doesn't look exactly how they thought it would look, they can throw that kid away.
And for what? Because you want those men to continue on pretending? And they refuse to pretend. Now you're on TikTok feeling a certain kind of way about it. Those men don't give a fuck what you got to say, man. And all this gaslighting, all this guilt tripping, all this trying to convince men to continue playing that part is not going to work. Bottom line. But let's continue.
Easily.
The level of gaslighting in that video was astronomical, bro. Like, it's kind of like what the brother said in the original video. We're just going to completely overlook the fact that, oh, you lied to somebody for 10 years. I'm like, because I'm glad I happened to come across that video because it kind of falls within the same time frame of the example that the young lady was using in the original video. Yeah, that's possible. I'm like, now I want to know because, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, you know, there was some men in the comments of that original video saying, like, the better question is why isn't it 100%? So, with my audience being mostly men, I would like to know, do y'all think that should be 100% as opposed to 90%? Which, 9 out of every 10, that's still pretty high.
Shit, even in paternity court. Even in paternity court, it's never 100. It's always 99.999%. So I don't even know what the fucking deal is on that fucking complaint. But I'm gonna stop it right here, fellas. My vocals need to heal, but I will say this. You see, they so focused on the men leaving because they found out the child ain't his. Now, we already talked about the men. Let's talk about the kids now. Because what is the one thing Uncle JD always say? A man has every right to know whether or not that is or is it not his child. Have I said this? Yes. While at the same time, every child has every right to know who their biological father is. Didn't I also say that? And there's a reason why I say that every child has a right to know who their biological father is. And no, these dumb broads, these simps, these panda bears, these trapped in the closet gays who haven't even touched pussy a day in their life ain't gonna tell us differently. And yes, if they think the kids also don't resent their own mothers for lying to them, it's time to unboot yourself from the matrix. Because yes, it's actually happening. you now got kids who found out that the man that they thought was their father was not their father, now resenting their mothers. One of which was a young man. I believe I talked about this before. A young man who found out that the man that was raising him was not his biological father. And what's worse, his own mother knew about it, but yet she chose to keep the lie going. Or as one of my co-workers would say when we talked about this discussion, in a situation like this, his own mother chose comfort over the truth. And by the end of the day, I can't blame him. Yes, he resented his own mother for lying to him when in regards to who his biological father was. Now, as to me saying all of this, he is now staying with his actual biological father. He wants nothing to do with his mother at all. And no, all that your mama black bullshit, he ain't trying to hear it because his mama was black and she lied dead to his face off the gate. But I'm going to stop it right here. I got to stop it right here because my vocals need to heal so I could get back on this. But nevertheless, I said what I had to say. Again, shout out to the Average Man Unplugged. If y'all want to watch this video in its entirety, I'll leave the link to his full video in the comment section. Go check it out. Tell him JD Miles sent you. But that's all I got for tonight. I'm done and I'm out this bitch. Later.